My journey through New Zealand's North Island would take me from the thermal region of Rotorua through the Bay of Plenty hinterland and along the east coast. If you stand looking out across the vast crater of Lake Taupo in the centre of New Zealand's North Island, you can see 3 active volcanoes, the largest Mount Ruapehu. In fact, New Zealand sits on the tip of the Pacific Rim of Fire, the arc of active volcanoes circling the Pacific Ocean. This fiery geology has resulted in a stunning landscape highlighted by emerald blue lakes and steamy thermal springs and fields. The Thermal Explorer is one of the country's major touring routes. It leads you from Hawke's Bay across the volcanic plateau to the city of Rotorua, where the fiery past and present of the region is obvious almost everywhere you go. Underneath and right beside this tranquil exterior lurks a wealth of natural spas and geothermal wonders, such as geysers and boiling mud pools. The first thing you'll notice about Rotorua is the one thing I can't show you here, the smell. A sulphurous breeze creates a constant rotten egg smell throughout the city, but surprisingly, you do get used to it fairly quickly. This is a well-groomed city rich with restaurants, arty cafes and lovely colonial buildings. A city that also encourages some fun in the sun. You can visit the City Museum for a comprehensive history of volcanoes and see some unique Maori artefacts. Explore the old bathhouse where the healing remedy of thermal water was recognised more than a century ago. Rotorua is rich with thermal activity, and you can get up close to some of the action at the Waitapu fields. Just don't get too close or you might get scorched. Now, when people talk about descending into the depths of hell, they could be referring to a place like this. There are more than a dozen craters in this area, and usually at the bottom you'll find steam vents, boiling water and bubbling mud. And this is known quite appropriately as a devil's ink pot, where the boiling water has forced graphite and crude oil to the surface. Here at Waitapu you'll find 18 square kilometres of thermal activity. Now, all this hot steam doesn't go to waste. 5% of New Zealand's power supply comes from hydrothermal fields. Now this might give you an idea of the size of some of these craters. Some of them sink to a depth of around 20 metres. And there are all sorts of nasty things down there. Ugh, fancy a quick swim with the devil? You can do it here. My guide Ian Murray showed me the volcanoes that stretch across New Zealand and are regarded as national treasures.
Standing in the Taupo volcanic zone, which is recognised as one of the world's most active volcanic areas, and you can see the zone here running right through the central part of the North Island. Starting out here at White Island, known as Whakaari to the Maori, which is our most active volcano, of course, and down to Whale Island here just off the coast. We've got Putawauki here in Kawerau. We've got Mount Tarawera here. We've got Rainbow Mountain in between the two, which is not shown here. Tauhara, right at the top of Lake Taupo. And then down here, in the southern end of the volcanic zone, the 3 active volcanoes in Tongariro National Park. Tongariro itself, Ngauruhoe and Ruapehu.
My next stop was Hell's Gate, a place where you can well and truly find yourself cooked. New Zealand was discovered by the Maori people who arrived here from Polynesia over 1,000 years ago. Those first settlers quickly discovered the many uses for the boiling water and bubbling mud, and they also gave many of the sites poetic names and fascinating stories.
Well, actually, Hell's Gate was given to us by the Europeans who first came here. They named it Hell's Gate because of its activity, and they thought it was coming from hell. The actual name for this place is Tukitire.
Tukitire.
Yep, and it actually comes from this pool. The reason it's called Tukitire, way hundreds and hundreds of years ago, a lady jumped in here to kill herself from her abusive husband.
Oh.
In the morning, her mother found her and she cried, "O Tukitire," which means "Oh my precious one," and that is where the name of this whole region comes from. It's
Wow.
from this pool.
What a way to go, hey?
Yeah.
Into the boiling mud. No, thank you.
So this.
So how hot is it in there?
How hot is it in there?
Yeah.
About 119 degrees Celsius.
Oh, so that would cook something pretty
It would have
quick.
been a lot hotter back hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Wow. I ventured on past the ever-changing landscape, dodging spitting mud and hissing steam. Around every bend, a new surprise.
This is Kakahi Falls. It is the only hot waterfall in the southern hemisphere. Okay.
I've never heard of a hot waterfall before. It's amazing.
Very unusual, yeah.
Yeah. Can I go down there?
No, you can't. In the old days, our tohunga, or what we call high priest, would bless and bathe our firstborn males underneath that waterfall.
Yeah.
See how the waterfall drops and there are two bathing spots under there?
Right.
They used to bless them under there to become warriors. And after their war, the warriors would come back to here and re-bathe their wounds.
Wow.
And there has never been a female gone through there.
So it was men and warriors only.
Yep.
Now, people have been bathing in thermal waters for centuries. And if you'd really like to test the water, put a toe in, this is the place to do it. It might not look so inviting, but believe me, it is good for you. Whoa! And it's hot. Now that's a hot bath. I heard that thermal mud could be very good for the skin, and before I knew it, I was up to my eyeballs in it. Okay, here goes. Oh, great. Oh, that feels really, really horrible. But I'm taking your word for it. This is good for you. Okay.
Cold shower, right?
Nikki, it doesn't taste so good. I don't recommend eating it, definitely.
Oh, skin like a baby's bottom tomorrow. Probably won't need a shave for a month. How's that? Pretty cool.
So once you finish with your mud bath, you head here to the spa. Now this is geothermal. It's actually heated by sulfur steam. And it's a great way to unwind at the end of a busy day. The water's about 37 degrees. Just perfect. Hey, come on in. The mud's great.